We're lucky today to be speaking with Scott McDonald, coach of the sectional champion volleyball team at Northview High School. Good record, 28-5 this year. You'll be facing Western Boone, 24-6. Obviously, with those numbers, it's a long season. It's got to be much more than just your conference play. What's involved?
For us, we play a lot of tournaments. We played in the Brebeuf Invitational. We played in the Plainfield Invitational, the Bar Eve Invitational. That's where we really want to try to challenge ourselves to get ready for the tournament run, because the tournament's the most important thing. You look at Western Boone, they've played a ton of good teams, including McCutcheon, which has probably arguably the best player in the country. So, you know, they're not going to fear us whatsoever. We're going in with the same mentality that we have every game. We've taken the mantra of Mamba mentality, like Kobe Bryant. You know, we fear nobody, and then just try to outwork everybody as we play.
Well, evidently it's worked so far.
So far. The kids have overcome poor coaching. That's what I always tell them. They're 28-0 and I'm 0-5, so that's how it works.
Well, this is not your first regional. It's your girls' first regional, your team's first regional.
Right.
You've been here before.
Right. You know, I coached for 11 years before. We went to 6 regionals, 2 semi-states, and went to the state finals once.
I went up to Ball State, watched you guys play.
It was a lot of fun. I had my oldest daughter there, and now my youngest one's here. My oldest one was going to play in college. We got her moved in. She originally committed to the University of Memphis. Thought Memphis maybe wasn't the right fit for her after she thought about it. Went to Indiana University Kokomo. They found a heart issue the day after we moved her in, and she had to step away. That's why I stepped away from volleyball for a while. Erica Garrison took over and did a great job, took them to the state finals again. And so this opportunity presented itself for me to come back last year. And so we did, and you know, we took the program over again and had a nice group of freshmen come in who started immediately. You know, we took some bumps along the way playing, you know, at times 5 freshmen. But it's paid off, and so now, you know, we're back into the regional where we like to be.
Or where you belong?
I mean, that's where you belong. We don't feel like we're entitled to anything. We went to a camp at IU, 3 of the girls did, and it says you're entitled to nothing but work for everything. And so that's kind of, you know, what we preach to our kids. We talk about, you know, you're not entitled to anything in life. You have to work for it. And we try to tie in, you know, real life learning lessons, using volleyball as kind of the jump start to it. But, you know, as a mom, as a wife, as an employee, as whatever they choose to do in their life, you know, you got to outwork everybody. There's nothing going to be given to you. You have to work for everything.
That's a great philosophy. A lot of coaches don't teach that.
Right.
You know, they teach their sport, and the life lessons aren't there.
Right. You know, we just think that the sports, you know, Scott Buell, our athletic director, does an amazing job of not only character education, sportsmanship, and things like that, but he also wants us to win. And so, yeah, the winning is great, but the bus rides home, the practices where there's nobody here but the coaches and the kids, those are the memories these kids are going to take. We're not going to be professionals. We know that. But if I can teach them something that they can use later in life, then that's a successful season for me.
Your record with Western Boone, you're 28-5, they're 24-6, so very similar. But you're different also. I mean, your strengths are serving aces and digs. Their strengths are blocks and assists, which tells me they're a tall team.
They are. One of the girls on their team, Reagan Durbin's just a phenomenal outside hitter. She's actually going to be playing on my daughter and Kira's travel team this year. So we're excited to have her. Not excited to be playing against her, though. It's just a phenomenal outside hitter. Can hit every shot. Is a great blocker. They got a 6'2" middle that's left-handed that's really good. They're extremely well coached. So it's going to be a handful for us. And like I said, they played some heavyweights and won. So when you look at the strengths of us, we have to get long rallies. And we do that with Millie Pell, with Brady in the back row. Kira is a back row player. We have to be able to keep the ball long in play. If we can do that, it's kind of like ping pong. You know, when you were a kid, you were really good at keeping it in play, but you couldn't make shots. Sometimes we're going to run into that, where they're going to get a ton of blocks on Kira and Audrey or Carson or whoever our hitters are. And if we can just keep it in play, they're eventually going to hit it in the net or hit it out of bounds. And that's kind of how we're going to be looking at things. We have to make long rallies. We want to make it a conditioning game for us and press the game into extended rallies.
A good left-hander on the front line is like having a good left-handed pitcher.
Yes, it is. It
makes a difference.
It does. After watching her on film, that's not really fair. Maybe coach would be nice and not let her play. But no, we've had Morgan Sterling was the left-hander that we had here that we went to the state finals with, and it's just a different look. And especially coming out of the middle like she does, it's going to be a challenge for our blockers to track her and really get a good press. I mean, she's 6'2", jumps well, so we have to be able to at least get touches. Otherwise, it could be a long day.
Okay, how do you teach your girls or train your girls to play against a left-hander like that, who's an exceptional player?
So what we've done, we will do, we will work on some stuff in practice. I can hit left-handed, so that helps a little bit. So we'll work on that in practice and try to get as many reps as we can, training their eyes to see what it looks like and how to line up with a left-hander. So there's a lot of things we can do preparation-wise that we'll cover as we go through the week. We'll touch a little bit on it each day and just kind of see where it ends up on Saturday.
Now, in doing a little research on the Western Boone, they played a fifth set all year.
Correct. They blast a lot of people. Time to go to class. Playing a fifth set, I mean, it's tough, but as good as they are, the ball control that they have, I know their libero's extremely good as well. I mean, they're an excellent team. I mean, they're not number 5 just based on their nickname. They do have a lot of stars on their team.
Yeah,
they really do.
They're the Western Boone stars.
Yeah, they have a lot of stars on their team, and I'm sure that they feel pretty good about playing against us. The conference season for us, outside of about 4 or 5 teams, didn't present the challenges that normally it has. But our out of conference schedule with the tournaments and things like that, I think has helped us a little bit, maybe get a little bit of credibility. But we're just a little school in the castle in the cornfield, as they call it. We're going to go play volleyball on Saturday and see what happens. We've played Western Boone in a regional before, played them there, matter of fact, and we won in 3. So, it's a different team, different year, but same game, same net height, same ball. Everything else will be the same. We just got to go out and play.
That's why we show up and play.
That's right.
Now, when you're talking about Western Boone and their strengths and as good as they are and being number 5, have you played anybody who is similar to them this year?
I think Perry Meridian was similar to them. They have a dominant outside at Perry Meridian. Sophia Mayo, she's about 6'2". She's a little taller than Reagan. Reagan jumps better. They're extremely well coached, So we're kind of looking at some Perry Meridian film and how we prepared for them as to how we're going to prepare for Western Boone as we go forward. The big thing, the difference that we've seen so far in the film that we watched pretty much for about 9 or 10 hours yesterday, we watched a little bit this morning. We're going to watch film tomorrow and Thursday as well. They serve extremely aggressive. Our serve receive has to be on point. If it's not, then we're going to be out of system and then we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you'll be all right. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck to you Saturday, you and the girls, and enjoy the day.
This has been a presentation of the Riddell National Bank. This interview is copyrighted and presented by Indiana Sports Network, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without prior written permission of Indiana Sports Network, LLC.